staying ill, trying to chill, saying damn, it'll be great to sell a mill. That's when the mind switch to the pop tip. Is she gonna be large? Yeah, right, that's what the company kicks. Forget the black crowd, you're whack now. In a suit, frontin' black, looking mad foul. I speak for the hardcore.
Rough, rugged, and raw. What's going on, y'all? I am back with a new video. This video, normally I do soul, but this video is going to be more about hip-hop. I'm definitely going to represent for soul. Soul is going to be always in here, but I'm definitely representing for hip-hop. I want to show y'all the new shirt that I got. It's from my sister. She got these new shirts. She got me the old soul, as y'all can see. And in the back, it said, "We all are cliche." Check it out. I'm going to put it in the more info box. I want y'all to check that out or whatever. But, yeah. So, we're going to get back to the video. Y'all see my neck fitted on. Yeah, I'm trying to be a little hip-hop. Nah, I'm just kidding with y'all. But, yeah, this video is going to be more about hip-hop. I want to talk about it. Clearly, it's a good thing that I am going to talk about hip-hop because what Billboard just put out on their list, we're going to exit stage left on that one. Yeah, I'm going to take a drink on that note because I don't know what they thought they were doing. But yeah, I wanted, y'all see I came over with EPMD's Crossover. Love that record. That's one of my favorite records because it's definitely current now. That song is very current because these guys out here are selling their souls to go. Hey, it is. It's the truth. It is what it is. That's why I said hip-hop was so timeless back then. But we're going to get into that. Another one of my favorites is this by CL Smooth and P-Rock. They Reminisce Over You. Love this record. This is actually my favorite hip-hop joint of all time. You see they use the beginning of the end. They use that sample. What is it called? She made me a promise. She made me a promise, yes, by the beginning of the end. The guys that made Funky Nassau. They use this sample for that song. P-Rock used this sample. One of my favorite hip-hop joints. Oh my God. Well, it's actually my favorite hip-hop joint, like I said. Let's talk about hip-hop. How I fell in love with hip-hop. I fell in love with hip-hop when my dad brought home, when I can remember, Slick Rick for the first time. I think that's when I was introduced to hip-hop. Like, my father is a big hip-hop head. He's huge when it comes to hip-hop. Big hip-hop head. My mom is a soulful music head. You know, as I talk to y'all in a lot of my videos, I tell y'all that she's a big soulful head, in which it came on down to me. And now, don't get me wrong, I love hip-hop. I'm a big hip-hop fan, but I'm more on that classic hip-hop from the 80s when it first, you know, because I ain't going to say Rapper's Delight. I consider them there definitely when hip-hop began, but I'm more of the 80s, and clearly that's when I was born. From the 80s all the way to maybe 2005, I think that's when the hip-hop, I kind of lost it when it came to hip-hop, because it seemed to go somewhere else. But yeah, that's why y'all know that Mary J. Blige is one of my favorite hip-hop, not hip-hop, but she's my favorite artist of all time, because she made a new genre, hip-hop soul. She sang over a hip-hop loop and had that hip-hop swag, but was soulful at the same time. So it was the best of both worlds. But like, my opinion about the current hip-hop, you know, I think the only people that I really enjoy is Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. I really enjoy them because I feel like they signify the what hip-hop is. Like, to me, like, you know, Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp Like a Butterfly album was it was for the people. It was about the people, and that's what hip-hop was about. It was speaking to young kids about what was going on in our neighborhoods and sending it to mainstream. And now that we have a big issue with Black Lives Matter, Kendrick put this in his album. Like, his first album reminded me of Doggy Style because clearly he's from L.A., so it made sense, you know what I mean? And I think J. Cole gives me the essence of what hip-hop is as well. And with his album, 2014, Forest Hill Drive, I play that album now. I think, you know, like my old like the video that I just did on Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder, I feel like that's what Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole's album kind of expressed. To me, J. Cole was more of the inner visions in my opinion, because he spoke in the underlying tones of what's going on in our world was there, but to me, Kendrick, To Pimp Like a Butterfly, was more of the Marvin, what's going on. He said it, and this is what it meant. But I feel like both of them is what, you know, to me, is the essence of hip-hop. Like, a lot of people don't really like J. Cole. I have a lot of people that's on my Twitter timeline that don't really dig J. Cole. But I like him because I feel as though he's the essence of what hip-hop is. I feel like Kendrick is what the essence. I think a lot of people like Kendrick for that. You know how a lot of people go back and they say, you know, I'm on my timeline, on Twitter timeline, Music Soul Nick, if y'all want to check that out. That was just a plug for me. You know, I see a lot of the real hip-hop heads that I follow, they talk about the 90s and the 80s hip-hop, and I understand it because it was a lot more real and authentic, and it was, you felt it, you know what I mean? It was a gimmick, you know, period, anything about the music industry, there's some kind of gimmick to it. But the gimmick felt more real back in the 90s. Because in the 80s, hip-hop wasn't popular music. It wasn't. So they did anything, you know what I'm saying, just to get noticed. And it just, in the 90s, it was just like, then it started getting on the rise. And it started, now people started following more hip-hop and getting more involved and wanted to be involved in hip-hop. So it changed, but it was still real and authentic. And a lot back in the 90s, there was a lot of soul samples used. In my opinion, when you're using a lot of soul samples, you had to learn how to spit. And I feel like now you don't have to spit to be a rapper these days. You can say something really stupid and the world really likes it. And it's like, oh my God, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And it's like, are you serious right now? That's why I feel like I liked hip-hop back in the 80s and the 90s, because you had to be a real spitter, because they used a lot of soul samples, like a lot of James Brown and a lot of that. And back then, we knew a lot of those soul samples, so we knew those songs, so we had to listen to what they were actually saying, because we were like, all right, what they gonna do on this beat? And it was like, yo, they killed it. And that's why I feel like now hip-hop is so changed. Like, I understand that we have to be forward movement, and there's always, you know, something different coming, but today's time, it seems like it's more about a gimmick and more about what people are saying in the lyrics. Because back in the 90s, you had to be a spitter. And if you wasn't a spitter, you had to show and prove. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, hip-hop really has changed a great deal. But it's a lot more mainstream than R&B music is. But it's still, to me, it doesn't feel authentic anymore. You don't have a lot of artists that is really authentic. And they'd rather go more on the gimmick than go on their art. So when Billboard, going back to Billboard, when they came out with that list, it was like, okay, but what is this? That's why I was like, I hope they don't do a top 5, you know, album of all time, because they really going to start some drama, because there were some people on that list should have been off. There were some people that was a little too high, but I'm not going to go there. It's just my opinion, you know what I'm saying, and I don't want to seem like I'm like a hater, but hey, it is what it is. That's my opinion. But enough preaching to y'all about hip-hop. I wanted to definitely give y'all my top 5 hip-hop albums of all time. I hope you guys like it. I hope you enjoy it. But I'm going to give y'all 2 bonuses, because I couldn't fit them all into 5. I could have did a 10, but I didn't want the video to be that long. But I wanted to kind of keep your interest. So my first one I'm going to is a bonus. And it is The Adventures of Slick Rick. Now, yes, now there's a story behind this, and I'm gonna, of course, play. This is how we do it. Y'all better know that. Y'all better know this. Y'all better definitely know this. And they also use Think by Lynn Collins in that. But my story of this album is, me and my family, we lived in Virginia. We moved to Virginia, and I remember my father brought this album, and we was on the way back to visit, and we all had on these white suits, white sweatsuits. Me, my mom, my dad, and I remember my mom. I remember this. That's why you tell me I know that I was gonna love music, because I remember us riding back to New York and my dad playing this, and I was in the car seat just knocking to it. Cause one thing about my dad, if he loved an album, hip-hop album, he would play it over and over and over, and he would blast it. So as a kid, I remember in the car just 2 years old, just rocking to this. And, you know, it just, this album is definitely personal for me because it was kind of my introduction to hip-hop. So, you know, that's clearly a hit that everybody know. Mona Lisa. Everybody know this Walk On By Dionne Warwick. That was used, but it was one of those days, not much to do with my old school crew. Buy a slice of pizza. Like, I love this song. That's actually one of my another favorite hip hop song of mine. He was spitting. Like, to me, Slick Rick is underrated when people don't put him on the list. But I know some hip hop heads, like real hip hop heads, put Slick Rick, because Slick Rick was the problem. You know, my mom and dad go back and forth on this part. I love it. To watch them do it, you know, it was epic. To watch them go back and forth. When my mom said, "Thanks, I'd rather a slice of you." Like, and then my father go back and forth. It was dope. It was just dope to watch. And the last song that I definitely remember my father playing over and over again, that everybody uses this sample and it's been used. Yeah. So yeah, that was, they used a funky drama beat by James Brown. I think everybody and their mama used that. So, you know, that was my first bonus. You had to give y'all a little bonus. The next one, I have to stop music for this one. This one, my pops might have had this, but I was only a year old when it came out. But I remember us moving back to New York when we moved from South Carolina. We moved back to New York, and my dad went to Sam Goody and got this album. And I tell y'all, he played this album over and over and over and over again, but it still became one of my favorites because Rakim is one of my favorite MCs of all time. He's in my top 5. Absolutely. He didn't curse nothing, but he can spit. Oh my God. It is the Paid in Full album. That was my next bonus. Now, my father blasted this every time. This is track number 2. Eric B on the cut. And then here go my father. My father go off in the car. He's like, yo, Eric B going off right now. And I'm like, well, when's Rakim gonna spit? Clearly the song is like Eric B is on the cut. So there's no Rakim. So that one, Eric B for president. Now my father.
Show our appreciation for your support.
Make a clap to this.
Thank you, DJs.
Over like a fat rat.
Make a clap to this. Make a clap to this. Make a clap to this.
Hey, another one. This is actually my favorite song on the album. And y'all obviously know that it has that soulful sample. Again, Bobby Burrs, You Got Soul.
Without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many weeks shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you. Think of this. You keep repeating your myth.
Killed it. But I think everybody from that album kind of knows this.
I ain't no joke. I slam it when I'm gonna make sure it's through. When I'm going, no one gets on, cause I won't let nobody press up and mess up the scene I set.
Hey, then this is...
Yo, Rakim, what's up? Yo, I'm doing the knowledge, E, man. I'm trying to get paid in full. Well, check this out. Since Norby Walk is our agency, right?
Hey, paid in full. So, those are like the joints that my dad would play, and I think those two was my introduction into how I fell in love with hip-hop. So, those are my two bonuses. Hopefully, y'all see where I'm going with it. Hopefully, you're enjoying. I giving y'all a little bit of cuts. Hopefully, it took y'all back. I couldn't play the whole thing because y'all know YouTube be acting stupid. But we going to take a drink here, and we going to go to the next album. Now, this album, number 5. This album was the last album that we brought. Well, I didn't buy it. This was the last album my parents brought when we left South Carolina in 1996. Now, we ended up playing this album so much, even when we came back up to New York, we were still playing it because that's how much we fell in love with it. Number 5 is Fugees' The Score. This album, to me, was so hip-hop, like, oh my God, like, I just love it. This album, Lauren shined on. Like, when she, on How Many Mics, I did not want her verse to end. Like, give you a
When they do that, got your whole block thinking true that. If only they knew that. It was you who was irregular. Soldier low, secular, views active, whack for the
come on. Like, she bodied that. Like, oh my God, she bodied that. Another one is, this one. I can't pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try it, but I think y'all should, is it Juggalot? Is that, so
So we been your sweet dreams break like Carlos Santana plays. In my theory, I had a motherfucker, so you ignorant niggas hear me. Remember, take notes.
like oh my God. And then another one, The Mask. I love her verse. Hold on.
Like a kid I went with back in grammar school. I chuckled knucklehead. I seen him yesterday. Sections, old lady tried to play me, waved their hands up in my face. Yo, I told her check your man, cause bitch, you acting out of place. M to the A to the S to the K, put the mask on the faces to make it next day.
Like, oh my God. And then The Score, my father loved. My dad loved it because the sample of Rakim, my melody. So he loved that. What else with this album? Family Business. Lawrence was dope. You know, I was introduced to Rod Digger on this album because she was on Cowboys. Now, the singles that they came with are Ready or Not, which was cool. Killing Me Softly. Now, I'm not the biggest Roberta Flack fan, but Lauren made that song her own. Like, she made it her own, and then they still made it hip-hop. You know what I mean? So, that was dope. Foo La La, which was, I think, the first single off the album. That's what drew us into it, because clearly it had the Tina Marie, ooh la la la, like they used that. So that kind of caught soul heads like my mom and me, and it was just like, okay. And we like it. Lauren singing on it, but she's still spitting and she's singing. So we was like, so my parents brought this. But like I said, on this album, The Score, I felt like Lauren shined, and clearly when she brought us the classic of Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which is in my top 10, but I was only going to do 5, but she shined on this album. Shined. Ill. So number 5 for me is The Score by the Fugees. Number 4, this album taught me how to curse. And if you know me, I talk about it all the time. Snoop Doggy Dogg's Doggy Style. Like, I'm going to go to the chorus. See, now that was me at 7 years old. Let me explain to y'all. My mom and dad brought this album right? And like I said, it taught me how to curse because, like, when my family liked albums, we blasted. So when my pop used to blast it, I used to, I learned the words. I was like, okay, I'm gonna. Mind you, I'm 7 years old. So when my dad used to play this, and we used to play it loud in the house, even when family came over, we played this album. I used to be mouthing it, but when it was loud, I used to say the words. Yeah, my mom and dad was wrong for buying me this album, but one thing I have to respect of what my father said was, because my mom was a little weary, she was like, you know what, this album does have a lot of cursing on it, and Junior's young, so him learning these words, and my father was like, he's going to learn it out in the street. So why not he learn it with us, but we teach him, which is a bad way to say, but he's just being real with it. He's going to learn it out in the street. So why not learn it with us? We tell him it's not right, but these are the words, and these, but Doggy Style, they was cursing from the beginning to the end. What else? But mom and dad, y'all were wrong for that. Y'all, I could have went to school and started saying these words and could have got kicked out messing with y'all, but it's all good. Let's talk about the hits. Like, the hits to me was Gin and Juice, which was my favorite because they probably didn't say vodka and cranberry, so maybe that's why. I take a sip of my vodka and cranberry, right? But, yeah, but, Who I Am, I guess those were kind of the quote-unquote commercial sounds. Like, on the album, if I don't hear it, I'm not mad. But if it's in there, I bob my head to it. What's my name? Snoop Dogg, yeah. Dog. But that's cool. But Dog World with the dramatics, and they use that Cool in the Game, Smooth Madness, Summer Madness, is it Cool in the Gang or is it Isley Brothers? One of them, Summer Madness sample, so dope. I love either it's Daz or Corrupt. I love their verse better than anybody. If y'all go on my Instagram, I'm put it in the bottom in the more info box so y'all can see me. I love that verse. But we gonna start with the Pete Funk intro. I'm telling y'all, like this, y'all. Lady of Rage, she is also underrated. She killed it. Come on, Lady of Rage.
I'm sipping on Tanqueray with my mind on my money and I'm out for the Dante.
Well, the motherfuckers eat. So that joint, Rage murked it. Like, she went nuts on it. Bodied it. Another one, Ain't No Fun. Nate Dogg was the T-Pain before there was a T-Pain. He got on a hook and will body a hook. This was his song, in my opinion. Like, he killed it. Like, he murdered this joint. Like, I swear, like, anytime you play this, I think anybody know it. Like, oh my God, I just love this record. When I met you last night, baby. Hey, before you open up your gap. Woo! That's my joint right there. And then the last song I'm going to talk about off Doggy Style is Pump Pump. My cousin Malik on this joint from Illegal. He think he's my cousin. Yes, he's from Hollywood, South Carolina. He got on this. Lil Malik, he bodied it. This ends the album. So dope. This brings me back when Above the Rim, when what's his name, Dwayne Martin was doing push-ups, and they were playing this joint. Snoop Dogg came with Doggy Style and like destroyed it. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think this was the first hip-hop album to actually, I'm not talking about MC Hammer, I'm not talking about Vanilla Ice. I'm talking about the first #1 album to actually debut at #1 on the Billboard 200. Like, we did #1 on the hip-hop and R&B, but I think he was the first with hip-hop because Chronic didn't even do that. So, Snoop Dogg came and changed, and he definitely changed in my life because I'm definitely a frequent cursor, and I know how to curse very well. Thank you, Snoop. I know you might not want to think that's a good thing, but I do because I like to curse. Sorry. But, yeah, so that's #4 for me. Now, this album I know is going to cause some controversy, because also I want y'all to also check out my homeboy Kills podcast. And I'm gonna put him, put him in the more info box as well. And he did a video about this. He did a video about the Tribe Called Quest Midnight Marauders versus the Low End Theory. Now, this is funny because me and my pops had arguments about this. This was the last argument me and him had while I was on the road with him, and we were driving. And my mom never let me go on the road with my father, but this time she did. And me and him we talked and got a lot of stuff out, and we kind of had a little bonding a little bit. And this album, we went back and forth. My number 3 is the Low End Theory. And I know my father is probably in heaven right now, like, Junior, here you go with this bull. But hey, Dad, it's mine. This is my top 5. Respect it. Low End Theory. For me, I just liked it better. I don't know. I'm not dissing the Midnight Marauders. I think the Midnight Marauders is a classic album as well. But Low End Theory did a little bit more for me than Midnight Marauders. I can't tell you why. I don't know why. Me and my father went back. I know a lot of people are going to say he's bugging, but this is my top 5. So, I know before he died, we was in the truck, and he played the Low End Theory, and I'm telling you, I'm going hard in there. I'm like, yeah, I'm going hard in there. Like Excursions, Bugging Out, The Infamous Date Rape, Check the Rhyme, Scenario, Vibes and Stuff, Butter. Like, I'm going in, and my father looking at me like, you doing too much right now. Like, you doing too much. Like, it don't hit hard like that. So then he played the Midnight Marauders. He going hard, and I'm looking at it, especially when it gets to We Can Get Down, my father goes in. Let me tell you, he blasted it. And I'm rocking with him, but I like more of the Low End Theory. I don't know why. It's just my personal favorite. So as soon as I hear this, it's all over. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. Back in the days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had a pager, you can call abstract. Listening to hip hop, I hope it reminded me of bebop. I told her daddy,
don't you know that things go in cycles? Way the Bobby Brown is just an amper like Michael. It's all expected. Things are for the looking. If you got the money, request is for the booking. Come on,
when that beat hits, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I go in. Excursions just goes in for me. Like, it starts the album and I'm on that ride. Then Bugging Out. Let me tell you something. Fife bodied Bugging Out. Like, he bodied it. Yo, microphone check 1 2. What is this? The 5 foot assassin with the roughneck business. Like, he bodied that joint, dog. Like, oh my God. Like, he bodied it. The next song, Show Business, that I'm going to play. I love Show Business because it's so real for rappers out here these days. Like, it is. But there's a little thing behind Show Business because it used to be Georgie Porgy, and that was kind of a little too homophobic, so the record label didn't agree with it. So I think just because they didn't agree with it, they did this, and they did Show Business. But I'm so mad because Graham Cooper was on Georgie Porgy, but he didn't make it to Show Business. But I still love Show Business. I love Fife verse. I'm going to give y'all a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to go back a little bit because
Let me begin like Justin. I got so much trouble on my mind about these no-talent artists getting signed. They can't rhyme.
That's what I said about hip-hop earlier. Timeless record right there. The song I've been playing a lot of is The Infamous Date Rape. I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, I ain't raping nobody, but they letting us know what it is. But I love Fife verse, like I said again. Hold on. You know the sign is to get buck wild. Or better yet, Magic, or even Karl Malone. Your aim is to bone. Like, yo, he bodied that joint. Check the rhyme. I think everybody know, but my favorite line. Hold on. They are. Proper. What you say, Hammer? Proper. Rap is not pop. If you call it that, then stop. Period. Period, point blank, and the period. It was not popular music then. So what they were trying to say, hip-hop was pop? No, it was not. Hip-hop was not popular then. So that made total sense, and that's how I feel about R&B music right now. It is not pop because it's not popular music. So don't put R&B with pop because it's not popular music. Thank you. On that note, jazz is a personal favorite of mine because every time the Knicks will win, as y'all see the hat I'm rocking, I will play jazz. I love that joint. I always play it. Check my Instagram, check my Twitter. Every time the Knicks win, I play jazz. Competition wants to come sideways. A competition, like I talk about Fife, because I think Fife bodied the low-end theory in my opinion. Even though Tip did his thing too, but Fife verses on this. But of course the last one is the scenario. I love the regular version, I love the remix, but I think everybody knows Busta Rhymes versions.
As I combine all the juice from the mind, heal up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind, powerful impact.
Boom!
The cannon, again, trying to reap a mind, just imagine.
One of the best hip-hop collaborations of all time. I put Scenario up there with Buddy. I even like the Touch It remix. It kind of reminds me of that, but Buddy and Scenario stands alone. But Low End Theory is my number 3 hip-hop album of all time. I love it. I know my pops is probably like, you can cut that, you chill. He loves Low End Theory, but he probably like, nah, I'm about that Midnight Marauders. But hey, Dad, this is my top 10, my top 5, but hey, R.I.P. Pops. But the next one, he is my favorite rapper alive. I actually did a video on him, but YouTube started acting really crazy, and it only was up there for a minute because then it got muted. But Nas's Illmatic is my number 2 hip-hop album of all time. Now, like I said again, Nas is my favorite rapper alive. Yes, I said it. I actually didn't get into this album until 3 years after it was released. And I'll tell you why. Like I said, when I got into middle school, I ain't gonna tell y'all my age, but you kind of know it by now, but nah. But when I got into middle school and I was playing basketball, one of these guys loved Nas. So when he was playing It Was Written while we was in basketball practice, I was like, yo, this is dope. Who is this? He was like, you don't know who this is? I'm like, nah. He was like, this is Nas. I was like, oh, this is his first album. He's like, come on, yo, you don't know Nas. I'm like, oh, Nas. I know him by this. Whose world is this? So I was like, oh, is this on there? He like, no, that's on Illmatic. You got to go back before you can go forward. And I said, okay, so I think he actually gave it to me. I never gave that joint back. I don't know where it is to this day, but I never gave that back at all. Never gave back that album at all. Another one that I knew was Hard to Tell. I knew that. My boy Results bodied it. I said it in my video. He bodied that, y'all. I'm going to put in the more info box. Results, check him out. He kind of gives me a little bit of Nas itch because he's spitting about stuff that's he spits, and y'all need to check him out. But Nas, I knew this. So those are the 2 songs that I knew. So I didn't know, and I knew If I Rule the World, and I knew all that, but I did not know that it was on Illmatic. That's how crazy I was because I was so into the Fugees in '96 and a little bit of Reasonable Doubt, but I was more into the Fugees, so I really didn't know a lot about Nas. So when I listen to that, I tell y'all, and when I tell y'all, it really was a life-changing record because to me, Nas was smitten for dear life. Like, The World Is Yours was kind of a little life-changing for me because he's like, whatever you want, go get it. It's yours. This world is yours. Go on and get it. And after I listened to this album, I actually found my favorite Nas song of all time. And I think everybody that follows me on Twitter and Instagram knows what that is.
I'm as ill as a convict who kills for phone. Jackson 5, I drop jewels, wear jewels, hope to never run it. With more kicks than a baby in a mother's stomach. Nasty knives have survived since the rise. This is exercise since the microphone dies. Back in 83, I was an MC sparking, but I was...
He bodied that, like he was just spitting. Oh my God, like he bodied that joint. He was rapping for dear life. Like I said, he was just rapping for dear life. Another one, Represent. I love that joint. I love the joint because his documentary of the 20-year anniversary of the time is Illmatic. I just... Yeah. Like, then, all my favorite hip-hop producers is part of this album. DJ Primo, Q-Tip, Pete Rock, The Large Professor. The Large Professor did Halftime. And clearly, Nas represented for New York because...
Yo, Black, it's time, word, time, it's time. Can't wait for either on the time the task force split. Niggas force up in assassin. Pick the Mac up, yo, my shit is up. Try to cut, you probably couldn't see as high as I be. It's like the game ain't the same. Got younger niggas pulling the triggers, bringing fame to their name and claim some corners. Cruise without guns.
In my New York state of mind, I had to hurry up and do it because I ain't want you two to act stupid and cut me. But yeah, New York state of mind. We all know who did that. DJ Primo. One of my favorite hip-hop producers. But like I said, like Kill said in his podcast, Illmatic messed up. I'm not going to say messed up hip-hop in a way because that's what he kind of said. It messed up hip-hop in a way. And I can understand what he meant because now everybody wanted different producers on part of it. You remember when an artist used to use like Rakim and Eric B. Eric B. was the producer and that was it. When it came to Tribe Called Quest, Q-Tip was the producer and Ali was the producers. When it came to, who else? EPMD, they were their producers. When Nas came with Illmatic, he started using different ones. Large Professor, Q-Tip, DJ Primo. Like, he started using different producers, and then after that, everybody started using different producers. Like, they didn't use the in-house producers, and I get what Kill was saying. Like, it made so much sense. But number 2 is Illmatic for me. Now, number 1, and I think by now, y'all should probably know what my number 1 hip-hop album of all time is. That is Ready to Die by the Notorious B.I.G. First of all, I'm from Brooklyn. This is basically Brooklyn's national anthem album in a way. I didn't put that right, but yeah, y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. I think everybody that loves hip-hop that's from Brooklyn has to know the Ready to Die album. Like, I respected the fact that even though, you know, Puff did some craziness making them guys walk for cheesecake, but if you don't know Juicy, then that's crazy to me, because that is just a legendary hip-hop song. Going from negative to positive. It's all good, baby. But, like I said, it's my birthplace. My father brought that home. Like I said, he's a big hip-hop head. He brought that home. And, ever since then, I know every song. Now, Juicy, like I said, you know, Juicy is...
Yeah. This up.
Was that the beat drop?
I let my tape rock to my tape.
Smoking weed or bamboo, sipping on proper stop. Like, this song is very special for my mom and dad because when they got married, their first dance was actually the sample that he used. And y'all know I got it.
I need it.
You know very well who you are. Ha! Doom, doom, doom. sugar cane, my chocolate star. Hey, y'all see, I had to bring the soul into it. But like I said, so clearly that album is definitely going to be very special for me, and that's why it's my number one. But we gonna go through the songs and we gonna rock out a little bit. The first joint, Warning. I'm telling y'all, I know this from beginning to end. I swear to God, I wish I could play the whole joint on YouTube and on this video, and YouTube won't cut it, because I swear to God, like, I just close my eyes and go in, and I don't stop until the song is over. Like,
Who the fuck is this? Page to be at 5:46 in the morning. Crack of dawning. Now I'm yawning. Wipe the cold out my eyes. See who's this page to me and why.
Like, I gotta get y'all a little bit. Like, y'all see, I just close my eyes and I get into Biggie's world, man. Like, he bodied that. Another one of my favorites is Give Me the Loot, because when we do Give Me the Loot and that plays, my dad does one part and I do one part, and we go back and forth. It's dope.
Just grab the fucking gas, the first pocket that's back, then take it to his back. Word is born, I'ma smoke him, yo, don't fake no move.
What?
Treat it like boxing, stick and move. Stick and
Nigga, you ain't got to explain shit. I've been robbing mother since the slave kick. So, like, yeah, so my father will go back and forth and we'll do that. Another one, The What? Of course. I live by that word. Fuck the world, don't ask me for shit, and everything you get, you gotta work hard for it. Like, you know, they go back and forth to see who got who on this joint. I think they both did their thing, but I think Method got a little bit of edge on Biggie. Just my opinion. Method Man did his thing on this joint. But, of course, my favorite artist, like I said, which is Mary J. Blige, she used this for I'm Going Down. Come on, Mary. I wanna make you feel like you never felt in your life. See, Mary even used that joint. I had to throw Mary in there, give Mary a little bit more of a plug. But my favorite Biggie song is Everyday Struggle. I love this song. To me, it was like Biggie was telling us about what was really going on in his life. It's an everyday struggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I just love it from the beginning to end. I don't want to live no more. Sometimes I hear death knocking at my front door. I'm living every day like a hustle. Another drive to juggle. Another day, another struggle, right? So, yeah, like that. Unbelievable. DJ Primo, body the production. I love it. I'm going to go to my verse. It's unbelievable. Biggie Smalls is the illest. Like, Primo, of course, used, oh God, what did Primo use for this? Wait a minute. Impeach the President, of course, by Roy C. and the Honey Drippers. And he also used the You Remind Me by, what's her name? Oh God, Russian. Please forgive me not. I can't think of her name. But, y'all, yes, he used those samples. That's why Primo is one of my favorites, because I swear, man, he can put some old samples together and make it work and make your own beat and body it. Oh, my God. But like I said, with me being from Brooklyn, this is the album that you have to know from beginning to end. That's why it's my number one. Maybe I'm being a little biased, me being from Brooklyn. Hey, it is what it is. But it's my top. Like I said, I gave y'all my top 5. You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it, because all of the top 5 y'all all love it. Even the two bonus ones I gave y'all. So the 2 bonuses that I definitely gave y'all was Slick Rick, the Adventures of Slick Rick. And I gave y'all Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim. My number 5 was by the Fugees, The Score. Number 4 was Snoop Dogg's The Doggy Style. Taught me how to curse. I had to throw that in. Number 3 was Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory, Dad Don't Be Mad. Number 2 is Nas Illmatic. I feel like that changed hip-hop. And number 1 is Biggie's Ready to Die, because it's just so Brooklyn. And hopefully, like I said, y'all enjoy it. This is my top 5. You know, I hope, like I said, Billboard, please don't do a top 10 favorite albums of all time, because y'all is going to put people that don't even belong there. So leave that to the people that actually love hip-hop, because y'all are losing a lot of y'all credibility on a lot of things y'all been doing. But I think I'm going to go out on this.
Beat sound like Sasquatch beat, thundering, shaking the concrete. Then the shit stopped when I saw the plot. Neighbors call the cops, then they heard mad shots. Saw me in the drop.
3 1/4. Peace, y'all.